Hey everyone, today we have something really special. We're going to talk about ear training in a practical way. How can you use this to do this? We're going to show you how it works.
But first,
Yes.
we have a free 3-part ear training course that we did together.
Yep.
And we want to invite you to that. So if you guys get a lot out of what we're going to be doing today, you'll love the free course.
Yeah. Check out the link below, sign up. You'll be receiving the free emails, and let's get into this.
All right. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, how do you come up with melody?
Yeah.
You know, you have a backing track and you think immediately we tend to think scales or licks or patterns, but that's not what I listen to when I'm listening to a great song. It's the melody.
Absolutely.
And I think for a lot of people, certainly me for a long time, melody was the hardest thing to come up with, like a good catchy melody. And what did it for me was engaging my voice before I pick up my guitar.
Yeah, and that's because, you know, when we play, even just having this guitar in my hands, I start thinking like a guitar player. I start thinking as far as all the different limitations that I have. No matter how long you've been playing, you have, you know, a bag of tricks.
Right.
And as soon as you have it in your hand, you're like, all right, I'm thinking like a guitar player.
Muscle memory. Yeah. Muscle memory.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. Whereas, you know, if I put it down, I'm no longer influenced by this thing. And that's kind of the object of this video today.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So we have a track
We do.
that neither of us are really that familiar with.
No.
I've only heard like part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're going to do is we're going to practice engaging our voice to come up with something that we then could translate to the guitar. And what this is going to mean is that, you know, our voices can't sing, you know, 30-second notes or do phrasing like a guitar. So we're going to have to phrase like a voice on our guitar. And the voice is like the oldest instrument in the world. It's the thing that we're most used to hearing and relating to in music and in speech.
Yeah.
And so this is going to really help our phrasing as we put our guitars down and engage our voices. And keep this in mind too. There are 3 things that make really powerful melodies. Rhythm, rhyme, which is sort of lyrical, but I even think that when you're thinking instrumentally or vocally without lyrics, there's an element of rhyme in how things are phrased.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the third is repetition.
Yep.
So rhythm, rhyme, and repetition. And we're going to be kind of harnessing those as we go through things with our voice.
Yeah, and putting the guitar down like I did really takes out not only the guitar, but it takes out of you all the technical things that you've got to think about. Because
Right.
with the voice we're doing automatically. We've used this since we're babies, and we don't have to think about how much air do I need to put, how do I put my throat to make this sound. The story comes out.
Yeah,
We don't have to think about the technique.
And
all
you know, you're not a singer,
Right.
And you can still say that, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah.
We don't care about, you know, like great vocal technique right
No.
now. All we care about is, can we hum a little ditty and then put it to the guitar?
Yeah. Well, so this piece right here, it's something that I started writing a long time ago, just the chords. And I don't really have a theme. I'd like to. So let's just see what we come up with. I kind of looped this.
Okay. And just with, you know, listening to it, like I don't know what key it's in.
No.
I'm going to guess because of how that feels, E. I'll guess E.
Okay. I should say that the E is irrelevant in a way, right?
Irrelevant. Yes.
Get it? So we're kind of like gathering mental clues and
There's that little transition there, right? Like to a different chord there, different progression. Back to your home.
yeah. That's kind of what we're working with.
So the first thing before you start singing any notes even, get into the rhythm, let your body move a little bit. I mean, both of us are sort of unconsciously,
Yep.
you know, it's taking it step by step. Taking it step by step, making sure that we can put the music in us before we try to make something happen with it.
kind of becoming one into this thing, like this thing is inviting us in. So you got the rhythm.
Okay.
Think you have something?
Maybe. Hey, let's go ahead and stop this real quick.
Yeah.
So we have all this baggage as guitar players. You know, we have our pentatonic patterns, we
Yeah.
have our 3-string scales or whatever it is. And those are why we tend to emphasize certain things.
Right.
But even when I'm engaging my voice, sometimes those sounds come back to me. Like I start picturing a pattern that I play on the guitar and thinking it in my head, and then I want to sing that. So we want to sort of resist that as well.
Yes.
Keep it as simple as possible. So what I start doing with something like this, I just start singing the one or the home. That's what it is, and then riffing around that with my voice. Let's give that a try.
It's kind of cool because what you're doing influences me to do other stuff. Now, we've got to change here.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah. So go ahead, do your thing. Take this one. Went back to what you were saying.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
we don't
repetition.
even care what the intervals are at this
No.
point. But what with me is I was repeating the same thing over and over again, which influenced what you did, and you brought that in, and you did like da 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 da.
Yeah.
Let's take section one more time.
Yeah.
So combination.
I
of
want to
the
hear it
two.
again.
That sort of
It's-
rhythm
it's-
push there.
Yeah, it's so simple. But now that we sang that, we kind of established, we established, all right, this is it. I want to do it again. That's
Yeah.
a good sign.
Right.
That might be, you know.
And it's totally something, because we came about
Yeah.
it with our voice and because it's repetitive, it is something that will get stuck in our heads. And after this video and as we walk away from what we're doing, we'll probably have that in our minds.
Yeah.
It's already there.
Yeah, it is.
And that is right here. We've done it. It may not
Yeah.
be the final melody, but
Yeah.
it is one that will get stuck in our heads.
Well, let's try something. I'm gonna play this. Let's not sing what we just sang.
Okay.
Try to find something else.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. Okay, do that again. That's kind of cool. Oh, yeah, that's another good theme.
If it's repeatable, yeah.
Do you remember the first one? Yeah. Do you remember the second one?
Give or take.
Yeah. It's something like that too. They're both pretty strong themes.
Uh-huh.
I think if I came up with these, I was ready to record something for a session or whatever, I sang. Now I've got these two choices, like these two themes. To me, the strongest is the first one. Not that it's the absolute rule, but for me personally, I remember that first thing. The point is, I think it's important to not commit too fast to one thing.
Uh-huh.
Try to find a second one, which we might use later on.
It could be a
Right.
part of the improv section or something
Exactly.
if we're developing it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. We also don't want to have too many ideas because melodies are simple. Remember, rhythm, rhyme, and repetition.
Yeah.
We want something that is short enough that we can remember right after coming up with it.
Yep.
If the melody's too long or too complex, then we've sort of lost the intent. Then
Yeah.
it becomes a long improv section or something, you know.
Absolutely.
So
I think we should grab our guitars.
I think so.
Talk a little bit about the process here. So that is really cool because we still have no idea what key or scale or
Right.
whatever we're in.
Da, 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 da. Right.
But we remember that. Da, 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 da. And then it's just a matter of naming it, maybe, or at least figuring out how do we translate that here.
And we really want to resist, for now anyway, we want to resist the idea that we're going to put a bunch of guitarisms into it. Like,
absolutely.
I think it's okay to bend and phrase around the melody, but we're not interested in da 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 da.
Right. No. Yeah.
We're not interested in that right now. Later, that's going to make those licks and those riffs that we add to our melody stronger.
Yeah.
But right now, we care about making it as musical as possible. That simple melody that we came about with our voice, making that as musical as possible on the guitar.
All right. So blank canvas. You haven't played a note yet. We remember the da 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 da. I think the first thing that goes in your mind, it's so quick, but we don't really know. But the first thing is, I don't know why I'm on you here, because you're on the spot, I guess.
Okay.
All right, so you're on the spot. But what happens in your mind, or what should, is trying to understand, trying to figure out how many different pitches we're working with.
Uh-huh.
Da da, that's the same pitch. Da da da, another one. Da, that's like the first one. So far 2 pitches. Da 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 da. We have 3 different pitches.
Then plus da.
Da, right, for the second part, yes.
Yeah.
Let's concentrate on that first one.
First one, okay.
So we got 3 different pitches, and then mentally, I think we should kind of draw a line. Ba is in the middle. Here, I'll switch here to show you guys. We got da da, that's static, that's right here. Da da da, that's going to be lower. And then da, back to here. Da 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 da, that's higher. So how do you play higher notes on the guitar? Well, you go towards the bridge, right? So all those things, all those connections are kind of made really fast in your mind,
right.
But we're just dealing with 3 pitches. So now it's up to you to try to figure out how do you play that on the guitar.
And that's what's so fun is we've got multiple places. We've got strings that you could play it one way by going to a different string or staying on the same string. Da, 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 da.
All right, so how do you do that? That's the right pitch. Da, 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 da.
Well, I came about that. Remember at the very beginning, I went like that. I know that E is about the lowest note with my voice that I can hit.
Interesting. Okay.
I know that from learning my voice.
Yeah.
And so if it's I can't hit a D, and I knew it felt low, and so I thought an educated guess would be an E.
Yep.
And then of course I know that's an E on the guitar.
Yeah.
So
and so many pieces are an E anyways.
Right.
If you don't know, just play an E. Most of the time it's going to work.
Exactly. So and we have this. Da, 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 da.
You hit all the notes at once. I don't know that everybody can do that.
Maybe not.
Which is okay. People could just fish around, but I think it's important to really be honest with what you're doing. Like, if you know that this da, 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 really analyze every note and be honest with yourself before committing. But yeah, that's good. So you could play that really slowly, and we'll see those directions. We're starting flat here.
And even before I play it, I have that rhythm.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose the rhythm at all. We want to make sure the groove is the first sort of thing we embrace.
Cool. Okay. Now, you said that there are multiple ways of playing the same thing on the instrument, which is cool. I think it might be beneficial to try to find another way, just to get used to that, because I feel that if we're locked into a position already, I see that pentatonic shape being drawn out.
Right.
And that might influence us in not the best way possible.
Potentially.
So let's see if we can figure out that theme somewhere else on the fretboard.
So there's another E.
Okay.
So maybe even before we think about phrasing with it, we just figure out those are our 3 notes, right?
Right.
And then maybe we don't go to this string.
Yeah.
Maybe we do that. maybe we have here, and this, that's a shape that all guitar players, kind of know too. But by giving us multiple places, where's an E on the B string?
Yeah.
We have all those areas. We can use each area of the guitar to speak.
Yeah.
To speak that rhythm and that phrase.
Mm-hmm. And that's really the cool thing, is that we started with this, then just our voice, and then we figured out on the instrument, no matter how long it takes us. It was pretty fast for you, might take a while for others, that's okay. And then you started having a completely different type of language. You mentioned E notes and things like that.
Sure.
So everything kind of comes together with this exercise. Not only are we developing the musicality, the feel, the ear, which we're doing here, and figuring out things, and then we're almost getting into theory, because we're talking about notes, and sooner or later we're going to start about the chords that we're playing if we continue on that path. So that's kind of cool how everything
And what's tying it all together? It's your ear.
Yeah.
Your ear is tying all of this together. It's the ear training brings together all different aspects. The fretboard.
Yeah.
The music theory, phrasing, the voice. The ear ties all this together. And so, as you work on training your ear, you unconsciously do so much all at the same time.
Yeah.
That's how this ends up working. Even though you're taking it step by step, we put our guitar down. The ear allows us to go from stage to stage.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I think it's important to mention that we're talking about relative ear here. We're not talking about perfect pitch.
Right.
Perfect pitch is, you kind of touched on it earlier. You're like, E. You knew it was an E. But we're not necessarily talking about that. We're talking about the difference between ba, ba. Those two pitches, there's a separation between both. And mastering that separation is kind of the key that helps us make those connections between da 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 da. We've got those lines,
Differences.
right? Differences.
Hearing differences, right.
And I think that is something that anybody could do with a little bit of training.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, should we muse on just those three
I
notes
think so.
a little bit?
Yeah, let's play a little bit with that. Here's our track.
Wrong note. There we go.
So it's super strong here. That's what needs to happen on this section, I think.
Sure.
And on the next one, something else needs to happen.
Sure. We have the second half of our first melody too.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, just da 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 da. 3 notes.
Yeah, because that
Again, yeah.
is duplicated. Yeah, that's cool.
So same principle, right? So I got it pretty fast, but that you might fish around.
Yeah,
with
sure.
It. Works the same way.
It was da 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 da, right?
Yep. I cheated. I know the chords.
Right.
So what does your ear tell you when you did that?
No good.
Yeah, that's great. Your ears are a director, really.
Yeah, so those notes, repeating those over that second section feels really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, So, and we have the first part of the, or the second part of the first melody.
Yeah.
We have the, then we have,
Yeah, that's great.
so that's the first part of the melody, and then we have the second part. Just those three notes, right? We can then start to phrase with. Yeah. So,
Yep.
as hard as this is going to be for us, we're going to stick with those notes and make them as beautiful as possible
Okay.
over this. We can just go back and forth and
Yeah.
take turns with it.
Okay. Here we go.
What was I see? It was, yeah. Yeah.
Getting more comfortable with it. It's kind of cool because as we go, we're making some. The guitar player comes back a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're injecting, you know, we're starting to recognize patterns and stuff,
Huh?
right?
Right.
And we're injecting into our melodic thing those things.
Well, now, exactly. What if we could do this again, and we choose to come back to these sort of home base areas, you know?
Yeah.
And then, yeah. But then we add our guitarisms back in now,
Yeah.
while staying true to making sure we have the theme, we come back to it. So
Yeah.
one of the things that separates the noodling guitar player from the intentional guitar player is that they weave the melody in throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, and in fact, I'll never forget earlier on in my guitar playing life, from Merry Xmas, Volume 1, Steve Vai's Christmas Time Is Here
Yeah.
is such a perfect picture of that. There's so many great things going on, but he hits those melody notes where they need to be hit. And I think there's a lot of guitar players, you know, okay, we got a melody, now we're going to blow through a solo and sort of flex a little bit.
Yeah.
That's just, people don't like that
No,
much.
and as a matter of fact, most of the time when that happens, if you take out the backing track, you have no idea what that solo is supposed to be played over. I think a good theme,
Right.
you almost hear the chords in the back
Yeah.
in the way, right?
Yeah, so shall we try it again?
Yeah, let's try that again. Here is, I'll let you start and I'll join in.
Okay. So this exercise is all about hearing, singing,
and then singing on the guitar, delivering the original melody that we heard while we were searching.
And keeping it simple.
Yep.
Gradually introducing back in, as you saw with our call and response sort of playing, we stuck very closely to the melody, and then it's like we're bookending the melody or peppering the melody with little things, as opposed to just going off on a scale pattern or whatever. And this it's not only the very crux of composition, but it's so awesome when it comes to improvisation. I mean, that was improv, right? We were reacting to what we were playing. We were reacting to a track that we weren't that familiar with, but we had this thing, or these two melodies that we had as a commonality, and we started there. And when you start there, the discovery process is so fun.
There's so many ideas that are often kept inside, and starting with the scale and the licks are oftentimes limiting.
Right. Well, and it's so fun too. You know, what I play something, then you play something, and then it's like, well, what are you going to do next? You know, how are you? But I know sort of what he's going to do next, because we have this common theme that we're going for. So
yes. So this ear training course that I mentioned to you guys is completely free, and it's going to help you do exactly what we've been doing and a lot more. It's super simple. You should sign up. The link is below. I'll have Chris back. Thanks so much for spending this afternoon with me.
Yeah.
It's super fun, as always. Thanks, everyone. Check out the link below for the Masterclass. I hope to see you there. Practice well.